Hi Stampers, I'm Nancy Novak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's Wednesday and I'm here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to share with you some fun creations. And this week we're going to use the Round We Go bundle. I used it last week if you tuned in, and we made a red, white, and blue rosette, and then we placed it on a really fun card. You can always go back and see that video. Today we're going to make a couple more cards. We're going to use a lot of the pinwheels, and we're also going to make a rosette card. So I have all of this stuff out here because I wanted to show you some of these in colors. So we are using the in colors tonight. So these are the 2024 to 2026 in colors. And these colors, I just love them. I'm so happy with them. They're absolutely stunning. They're going to keep your projects fresh for 2 whole years and trendy. So this will be the in thing to use when you're doing your card making, and everything matches. So we have the cardstock, we have all of the inks, and look at this pretty glimmer paper. And yep, we're going to use this glimmer paper tonight. And then there's this pretty 6x6 pattern paper. This paper just has 4 different designs, all the in colors, really easy to coordinates with your cardstock, your inks, and the patterns are versatile, so they're going to go with any occasion. So this is really a neat, I love the 6x6 paper, so it's nice. And you get so much of it. I think you get 48 sheets. So those are the supplies that we're going to be using. I just really love those in colors. So I wanted to show them all to you again. But the first card, we're going to use Summer Splash as our card base. It's really a pretty green color. I don't know if that's showing up right on the camera. Then inside I have a white piece. And then on the front, I have 2 white pieces. And then I have glimmer paper. So we have Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop, and Summer Splash. There's one more color. What is that other one? Shy Shamrock. I didn't use it on tonight's card. That's going to be a really good fall color and great for Halloween too. This is going to be fun for Halloween too, this Peach Pie. So I can't wait to get into all that stuff. But tonight we're making some summer rosettes and summer pinwheels. So let me show you the dies and what we cut out. Okay, so I have a peach pie and a Pretty in Pink circle that I cut out with the largest circle die. And then I have a piece of Summer Splash that I cut out with the smaller die. And then I have this scrap here, and I wanted to show you because I need another circle. I need a Petunia Pop circle, and it's not a full scrap, right? So I'm going to show you. We're going to go like this, and I'm going to cut out just a partial circle. And this scrap's going to be big enough. I just wanted to show you how it's going to fit into our card. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out real quick. So I just cut out a partial circle for our card today. So again, we have 2 large circles and a partial circle, the smaller one, and then the Summer Splash also in the small. And then I cut out 2 of the smaller white circles. I have scraps of black. That's going to be for our sentiment. And then we have the pinwheel. So we have a larger pinwheel with pointed edges and a smaller pinwheel with scalloped. For tonight's card, we're going to use the larger pinwheel with the pointed edges. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out a pinwheel in 4 of my glimmer paper colors. And I will be right back. Remember, I fast forward, so I'll be back before you know it. Okay, now we're going to do a little stamping. So we're going to also stamp with the pinwheel that has the little pointed edges. So let me show you. Get a couple of pinwheels. We're going to use this one right here with the little pointed edges. So the white ones, white pieces, white circles, are going to go with the larger scallops. And we're going to stamp a pinwheel on all of our little circles here. So on the Summer Splash, I'm going to stamp in Summer Splash. Peach Pie, I'm going to stamp in Peach Pie, except for I'm going to do it on the white. And for the Pretty in Pink, I'm going to stamp in Pretty in Pink, and then we're going to stamp the Petunia Pop. Okay, now you can also stamp first and then cut it out, but I wanted to get the cutting done ahead of time all at once. So that's another option for you. So I'm just going to clean it off with my simple chamois. I love this simple chamois. It's perfect for cleaning your stamps. And then I usually just blot it on a piece of paper towel, make sure it's wet before I put it in my next stamp pad. just like that. And then I can bring my chamois in because I have my little glass mat here, and it just cleans right up. Very simple to use with the glass mat. Then we're going to bring our white piece in, and we're going to stamp in Pretty in Peach. Clean my ink pad off one more time. And then this one we're going to stamp in Pretty in Pink. Okay, so I'm going to bring in our smaller white piece. I'm just going to kind of lay these two pieces down, and then I'm going to bring in our star stamp, and I'm going to stamp a couple of stars here and there. I'm just going to use Summer Splash. So I stamped it in full ink, and then I just stamped off, and I'm going to clean it off, and then I'm going to stamp in Petunia Pop. Okay, I'm going to bring in one of the dies. This is a circle die that cuts out little dots, and I thought it'd be fun to add some more texture to our card. So I'm going to go ahead and lay it down here and there, and I'm just going to cut out maybe 2 circles on here, and let's see what it looks like. I'll be right back. So I just cut out in 4 different spots. Let me show you on this right here. So I just cut out in 4 different spots with that circle die to give it some of those exposed dots. And I'm just going to make sure it's all clean and broken away. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put our little pinwheels together. So I'm going to bring in my dimensionals, and I'm going to put one in the center of the larger circles, and I'm going to go ahead and add my white circle with the dimensional there. And I'm going to bring in my glue dots, and I'm going to add the little glimmer paper to each one of these. So I'm going to use a glue dot, and I'm going to add each color to its own color. Okay, so we have our little pinwheels. I just added it with a little glue dot right in the center of each of that glimmer paper. And now we're going to bring these pieces back in. And I'm going to glue the 2 white pieces together, and then I'm going to glue that to the front of our card. Okay, I'm going to bring our pinwheels back in. I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of the large pinwheels. And I'm going to put one at the top and one here at the bottom, kind of diagonal like that. And then this one is going to slide underneath, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this one. See, that's why I only needed a partial scrap for the Petunia Pop circle. Then this one's going to go right here, and it needs a dimensional, so I will pop that up. Okay, so far so good, right? Isn't that pretty? So I do like those little circles. It really adds a lot of interest to the card. Kind of fun, right? So now let's do our sentiment. So I have 2 scraps here, and I'm going to bring in Hip Hip Hurray, and This Is Your Day. And I'm going to stamp that in Versamark, and I'm going to use the white embossing powder. So it's really going to shine, and it's really going to show up nicely with that white embossing powder. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of fussy cut this around and lay it on the front of our card. So I could just cut a straight rectangle, but I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit more of a jig-jag here and there. Go right there. So we need a dimensional and glue for this one. So I think I'll just use a piece of a dimensional. Okay, so that's the front. Then for the inside, let's bring in this white piece. And again, I'm just going to kind of jig-jag and cut this out. And then I'm going to bring back in our stamp and stamp some pretty little pinwheels on the inside. And we're going to go ahead and glue our sentiment right in the center there. And I think I'll do one more thing. I'm going to put the little circle in the center of each of our pinwheels. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp those really quick on the inside. Oh, I like that better. Okay, we'll do that real quick. And I'm going to glue that to the inside of our card. How fun is that? The Round We Go bundle. Oh my gosh, it's a must-have, right? Okay, so let's make a card now using the rosette die cut. I love making these rosettes. So we're going to use the Petunia Pop, and we're going to use some of that 6x6 Designer Series paper. That's the other side. And we're going to make a rosette out of this pattern paper, or Petunia Pop. I keep wanting to call it Pretty and Posy. I don't know why. So that's Petunia Pop. And we have a nice little white layer. And then for the inside, we have 2 white pieces. And again, don't forget, if you're new here, I always have project sheets that go along with my videos. So if you visit my blog, stampinshout.blogspot.com, you will see all of the, first of all, you'll see a great big picture of today's cards. Really get to see it in detail. I list all of the supplies I used, the colors I used, and I have shopping links. And if you shop with me, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. And that is my host code. And we also have a scrap of white that we're going to stamp our sentiment on. So this set, like I said, is so versatile. You don't have to use it only with the sentiments that come with Round We Go, although they are really great. I am going to use the sentiments that come with the Country Birdhouse. I'm going to put Hello Friend on the front, and on the inside, hoping you have the best day ever. And it's not her birthday. She just is feeling under the weather. So I think as she's recuperating, hoping you have the best day ever is a good incentive for her and give her lots of positive vibes, right? So I'm going to use the Petunia Pop ink, and I am going to stamp Hello Friend on this scrap right here. And since we have the ink out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside. So I have 2 white pieces. The smaller piece is this part we're going to stamp on. And this is a horizontal card, so I want to make sure that I have that paper going the right direction. Hoping you have the best day ever. Again, I just love Stampin' Up! Stamps with the pretty fonts. Very, very pretty. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and glue these 2 pieces together. That's for the front of our card. And I'm going to glue these 2 pieces together that are going to go on the inside. So it's just a white layer on a white stamping piece on a white layer. It's just got a very fine border. I just think that gives it an extra finished look. So let's see, we'll put these 2 on the front. Okay, before I put that down, I am going to tie a ribbon on here. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pop that up on dimensionals now, and then I'm going to finish tying my bow. That way it'll hold it in place and make it a little bit easier to tie. And I'll cut those a little bit shorter in a minute. So I went ahead and I cut these 2 pieces out using that rosette die, which is this one right here. And what's cool about it is when you cut that out, it gives you all the score lines, so it's really, really easy to fold. So I'm going to go ahead and start fanning this back and forth. And I will fast forward through this, and I'll show you how to make the rosette. Okay, so there are my 2 pieces, all fan folded. And then if you look at it, what you have on one end is a little tab. It's a little bit shorter, and then you have a straight edge. And all you want to do is you want to glue the tabbed edge to the straight edge. And when you do that, you'll see that you have the curved part of the rosette on the same side and the pointed edge on the same side. So again, we're going to glue a tabbed edge to a straight edge. And I just have my silicone mat. I always have it handy, and I just kind of dab off some of that extra glue. We don't need all that glue. And then I'm just going to match these two together and then hold it for a second and let that glue set. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. So there's my tabbed edge and my straight edge, and I'm just going to put a little glue there and hold it until it sets, and we'll have our little circle. And when you have this in front of you, you will see that you can line up the little edges so they're all nice and even. It's really simple to do. So I'm going to go ahead and let that glue set for a moment, and then I'm going to bring in this circle die right here, and I'm going to cut out a piece of cardstock, and that's going to be the bottom of my rosette. You don't have to use this die. You can use a circle punch, or you can just cut one out willy-nilly. But since I have this die, I'm going to go ahead and cut it out of cardstock. And I have this scrap right here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it out of this one. This is pretty in pink. It's not going to show, so you could use any color you want. I do like to use cardstock because it's a little bit heavier, and it's going to hold the rosette a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out real quick. Okay, so to make the rosette, all you need to do is kind of push it down in the middle. So I'm just kind of turning it. And then when you do, it just magically goes together. So you do it a couple times and it'll take. It's real simple. So I'm just going to put a little thin layer of glue on this circle. I'm actually going to dab that off onto my silicone mat. And then I'm going to make my rosette, and I'm going to lay it right on the top of that circle. And it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly centered. You just want to get most of your rosette on that. And then we're just going to hold it in place and let that glue dry. And while that's sitting there, I'm going to bring in one of the circles that comes with the set. Comes with a small circle and a large circle. And here's that scrap that we used on our first card. I'm going to go ahead and cut a little circle out of that. Okay, so there's our little circle. And then our scrap of white, I'm going to take the larger circle, and I'm going to come way over to this opposite side, or use any white scrap that you have, and I'm going to cut out the larger white circle. Okay, so I'm going to glue these two circles together just like that. And then I'm going to put that right in the center of our rosette. And again, I'm just going to use glue. So I'm going to put glue mostly in the middle. That's the part that basically touches that rosette. I'm going to let this sit. I'm going to put my little stamping block on there and let it sit for a second. So this piece here, what we want to do is we want to banner this edge right here. So I have a banner punch, which makes it really, really easy. But if you don't have a banner punch, all you need to do is put a cut in the middle, and then you're going to go from this corner to your cut, and from this corner to your cut. And then you have a nice little bannered edge. Okay, so our rosette is going to go right there, and our little banner is going to go underneath here like this. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of the rosette, and I'm going to go ahead and attach the rosette, and then I'm going to glue the banner sentiment on. I can cut this down shorter. Okay, so I'm going to glue our sentiment down. And now I'm going to trim our little bow here. And I've got to add a pretty little, what are these called? They're called resin dots. So I'm going to add a couple right there on that sentiment. And not too many, just a couple. Isn't that gorgeous? Hope you have the best day ever. So what do you think about today's cards? They're really, really fun to make these. I'm going to go crazy making a lot of these rosettes, so just be prepared. I'm going to do some more cards, maybe a scrapbook page or two. So go ahead and get these supplies now. Like I said, they're the in colors, so the colors are going to be very trendy for the next couple of years. You're going to see a lot of cards and projects that everyone's making with them. And again, I will have the supplies listed on my blog. there is my host code, and I appreciate you shopping with me. And also, if you purchase from me in July, I will send you the upcoming new mini catalog, which I think comes out in September. And it's going to be full of all of the fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and more. So I will send that to you for free, just for making a purchase with me. I appreciate your business so much. I appreciate you spending your Wednesday evenings with me. Go ahead and leave me some comments and share my video with your crafty friends, and I will see you next Wednesday. Don't be shy. Stamp and shout.